Hi Libra, welcome to your September 2017 General Tarot reading. If you're single, and by the way, if you're single and you're looking for love right now, I do have a series of videos called Ready for Love on Vimeo. I'll provide a link below. I also have regular private readings, of course, for people. And I have different types of readings, and that I'll provide the link for that below as well. Okay. Some of us may not be... I'm just doing it. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. So the overall theme for September is the Star card. This card connects to Aquarius, so there may be an Aquarius person. I did get other swords. This could be a man who is a swords, Gemini and Libra, and that's your sign. I was like, okay, who's the other air sign? Could be that as well, but the Star card is about healing and hope restored, faith restored. And I always, when I see this card, I think of someone who might have been just kind of plugging away, and maybe you were doing everything you could just to get through the day. I don't know if that's true for all of you, but for some of you, you may know what I mean. I remember once picking that card myself, and it was such a relief, and I didn't even really know that healing was a part of it. But it sure resonated with me. Another, this is, if we're talking about like relationship issues, this would be meeting someone after a long period of not having somebody in your life, or perhaps being in a long-term relationship that was just horrendous, and feeling like, okay, that's it, I'm done with relationships. And then you find this person, maybe when you least expect it. I didn't want to imply that you've been having a rough time of it all overall, because you do still have Jupiter in your sign, Libra, so that may have been very helpful for you, but that doesn't mean that it's going to just be lollipops and rainbows the rest of the way in. There may be areas of your life that you did have difficulty, and now you feel like you've turned a corner. I have in the past position the 8 of Pentacles. Now, for some people, this could even be like you going through medical school, and you finally made it. Maybe you went through an internship. This is about really working hard at your craft. Perhaps you, just any kind of professional certification where you have to get credentials. And if it was very challenging, then it was all the more sweeter, because it felt like a true accomplishment. And it felt like you went through the fire to get it. If this is relationship related, you may have tried very hard to make something work. Now, when I see this card with romantic relationships, I don't necessarily think that it is something that ended up working, because with relationships, it's a bit different. It's not something that you necessarily throw all of your energy into. If you have to try that hard to make a relationship work, chances are the relationship really is pretty bad. Sometimes relationships do take adjustments, but I'm talking about really having to exert a lot of effort. Let's put it that way. You may not be on the same page. You may not have the same vision for your future, and you're trying to make something fit that just doesn't. And that's why it becomes it's very labor intensive. That was what I was looking for. Now, the star card would fit into that, where you feel like maybe you've met somebody who is an Aquarius or other air sign, and this feels more right. This person could have actually been an earth sign, and that's why it didn't work out. So I would say out of all the 3 earth signs, the Capricorn would be the one, but the other earth signs are Virgo, and that's right next to you, as well as Taurus. So this person may feel more like who you belong with, but this card also relates to lawyers. So you may be seeking a lawyer, and we do have the Justice card. So there could be some kind of a divorce that's being sought for whatever reason. And you have a full moon in October 5th to be exact, in Aries, and that will hit that 7th house. So that could be when we see justice delivered. But this is about fairness as a spiritual message and a spiritual lesson. I did want to say with the King of Swords, it's also about speaking your truth and just being very straightforward. Perhaps that was your failing in a prior relationship, which I could totally see with Libra. You sometimes like to go along to get along. And when you pretend that something is okay that you don't really think is okay, it's really not fair to the other party, because they don't know. They assume that you're down with it. And that's one of the reasons why we have to be authentic. We have to be ourselves at all times, because that nobody is a mind reader. Well, some people are, but that's, you know what I mean. And just not be afraid. This person is very outspoken. Now, this could be the person that you're actually smitten with. In terms of, I had initially talked about, going through, maybe it's law school, because I know a lot of Librans are very much drawn to the legal profession. Yeah, maybe maybe even this card. Maybe you passed the bar exam and you were really studying. And this card can deal with a person who is very blunt and very passionate about what their issues are. So it can even be in the realm of politics, and I would say to some extent social justice warrior types of people. But the Justice card as the higher position, if this was a romantic relationship, it's about things being fair, and maybe they weren't. And this is your card, so when things are not fair. It's funny about Librans, I've noticed this, is that they can go along to get along, but then at some point they are very much aware of imbalances in relationships, and they may just have that gumption to go out and leave the relationship or speak out and say, this is not fair. And so that may be something that has happened. Maybe this is you. And maybe the star card is about you regaining some kind of self-esteem, healing from something, and that is allowing you to speak your truth. What crosses you is the 8 of Cups. And so you may be adverse to leaving a situation that you need to leave, which is in your highest good, but something is keeping you there. And it probably is emotional because the cups connect to your feelings. And it is possible that you love someone and still are aware that they may not be that good for you, but you can't help it. You just feel it. And if that's the case, what I would say about that is it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to continue on as you are. I feel that, though, that this is more on the emotional level. Like, you may put things into motion and still have that emotion keeping you, maybe even thinking about the good old days where things were a lot better. And Librans sometimes can be very indecisive. So you may question a certain situation and say, wow, should I have stayed with this person? Maybe, second guessing yourself. And this keeps you in the, tied to the past. And when you're trying to move forward, obviously that's not going to work. So you're going to have to decide what it is that you want to do. In the upright position, this card represents leaving what no longer serves you and moving toward that which does. And it can even be like a spiritual journey. I always think of eat, love, pray. So that may be something that's going on with you as well. What's coming in is the Queen of Swords, and this could also be advice. This is about head over heart. The Queen is the feminine principle. That is your emotional nature. But right now you're being called upon to gain mastery over that and see things clearly enough that you don't allow your emotions to get the best of you, because that will keep you in a situation that isn't really good for you. And the other thing that this could be representing is that you are acknowledging your intuitive capacity. You are an air sign, so you tend to view the world from an intellectual perspective. But the Queen is the feminine or the passive influence. And it can be the intuitive part that isn't rational, that isn't logical. And that is important as well, because a lot of times when we make decisions just based on the intellect, they don't touch that heart chakra. And they don't touch that crown chakra, which is a spiritual dimension. And, we don't want to just be living in the world all the time. We want to have this sense of something bigger than ourselves. The outcome is the Hangman. And this is a card of kind of maybe a waiting period, feeling like you're in between two stages. Again, if you have started proceedings for any kind of divorce or legal separation, you may be in between the period of something happening. And, you may feel kind of like you're in between two worlds. But that's okay, because it's only temporary. And this gives you a time to reflect. This can be a period of reflection as well. And you're waiting. And of course, you are having your solar return. Those that are born at the end of September, you're having your birthday. Happy birthday. And those of you in October, you're waiting for that. So you still have the sun in the 12th house. And it's kind of a period of internalizing some of that energy, and this is connected to Pisces, Neptune. So it's that sense of the passive and the intuitive, and it's also a card of surrender, of not trying to do everything. Libra is a cardinal sign, so you do tend to take action, but sometimes there is a time of waiting, and this may be that time. Now, this is not going to be permanent, so don't worry that things won't progress. They will. And I think especially in October, you're going to have a new moon on October 19th, and you may see like new movement. So anyway, Libra, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. All right, you guys, have a great September. Bye.